If you like film noir, come check out the Red House. Yeah! Yo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another random horror review. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 54 is here, and we are going to take it all the way back to 1947 with a film released by the Film Detective. Now, if you don't know who the Film Detective is, they are a company that basically specializes in releasing films pre-1970, more or less black and white, lost films and some public domain films and things like that, but you know, they do a really good job restoring these things on Blu-ray and things like that. So if you've seen some of these films on DVD, they look a lot better on this Blu-ray version, so I will give you that right there. But yeah, from 1947, the film in question here is called The Red House, and you can see the poster art behind me right there. Basically, the synopsis of The Red House is about a brother and sister named Pete and Ellen. They adopted a young girl by the name of Meg when she was 1 or 2 years old because her parents had been killed. And so now it's about 15, 16 years later. Meg's all grown up and things like that. Everything seems to be going good on the farm where they live. And but the thing is with Pete is that he's got a real bum leg and he needs some help around the farm to help out with things and stuff like that. And Meg has a friend by the name of Nath. Now Nath is looking for a job, so this works out perfect. Nath takes the job, he starts working at the farm. And, you know, one day he decides that, you know, he's done his work, he's going to go home. And he says to Pete, he goes, well, I'm going to just cut through the forest over here because it's a quicker way to my house. And Pete makes such a big deal out of it. He goes, no, you can't go through the forest. That's just, no, you can't do that. That's really, really bad and dangerous. Well, of course, Nath doesn't listen. One thing leads to another. He tries to go through the forest. Something happens. He has like this little thing with someone in there and you're hearing all these voices. Ends back up at the farmhouse where he spends the night in a barn, and you know, he thinks that Pete has done this to him because he thinks Pete's screwing with him. And of course Meg gets involved too, and she's like, what's in the forest? Like, why can't we go through the forest and things like that? Well, Pete's not giving him anything. You can tell that he's hiding something from Nath and Meg. And you know, of course this happens a few more times. You know, Nath really wants to figure out and find out what exactly messed with him and what's in the woods and things like that. And of course Meg is really pushing for it too. She's like, you know, she's that femme fatale, you know, of course, because this film is more or less like a film noir type deal. And you know, they kind of get together and they start to explore the woods. One thing leads to another, and it's not really the greatest for them because they know that Pete is hiding something. It's a mystery. So that is the synopsis of the film. Now, my thoughts on this one. This one right here is most definitely not a horror film. It is more or less a film noir, you know, kind of like a drama mystery type deal with horror elements, though. It's, you know, it's got a very atmospheric setting to it, very isolated atmospheric setting, and it's got enough mystery to it to keep you involved and things like that. And you know, it's one of those films that just has all those core elements of a film noir, very, very classic type story, type mystery. You know, something is definitely up with Pete, you know, withholding something. He's got some type of information that he's just not letting Meg know. And it starts to show throughout the film with the character, the way they develop and the way they kind of lose their minds and things like that. But yeah, very, very good film. Very, very good film. I think the acting overall in this film is fantastic. You know, I was really digging it, man. Everyone was really into the roles and they were very believable, especially Meg, you know, as the femme fatale. She's a very strong female type lead, and she, you know, you really buy into it, you know. Once, you know, Meg has a thing for Nath. Of course, Nath has this other girl that he's involved with too, which is kind of the subplot in the film too. But you know, you see that she's kind of getting jealous, but at the same time, she's super strong about it. She still wants to go into the woods and investigate where this red house actually is, and she's very, very strong characters. Like all the characters in this film are very strong, and that's what I really enjoyed about this. There's no stupid, dumb characters doing stupid and dumb things. You just have a lot of strong people with a strong story, strong script, a strong acting. You know, it's very, very well done. I really did like the woods and things that they use. And the third act in this film, in my opinion, it drags a little bit because you start to figure out things and you kind of figure it's going one way and things like that. Which kind of brings me into the runtime. This movie runs about 100 minutes. I feel like it could have been cut down 15, maybe 15 minutes. You know, there's some things that definitely aren't needed to progress the plot in the film. I think they're just kind of added in there and they fill in. But, you know, overall as a film, it's really fantastic. You know, of course, you know, 1947, there's no blood and gore in this one. There's no cursing. This is very straight-edge type filmmaking and things like that. But, yeah, it has all those elements. If you're into film noir, mysteries, things like that, definitely check out The Red House. It's a really strong film. And I really like the third act, though. I mean, like the very, very end, like how it kind of goes down. And like I did say, like it drags a little bit into it, but the very like final shots in the film and stuff are very cool. They're very cool and well done. So, but yeah, I can't really say a whole lot more about The Red House because it is a mystery. You know, you don't want to start giving things away. But if you like your older films from the 40s and 50s, like I said, film noir, mysteries, you know, horror, drama, things like that, this is definitely one you got to check out. I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. Really fantastic. Now to the Blu-ray, the transfer on this, really fantastic. PQ looks awesome. It's in full screen, you know, 1.331. And the sound is really good. There's no popping, there's no dropouts, things like that. And yeah, I was really impressed again with the transfer that these guys have done because I'd read online that the I believe the Alpha Video DVD that had come out before was just atrocious, which most Alpha Video DVDs are, but you know, just based on what I was reading, it sounded like it was really, really poor audio and visual quality, but you're not going to get that on this one. It's really well done. Unfortunately, there is no features, so if you're looking for features in the film, there is going to be none. But then again, it is a film from 1947. How many features could you possibly have from a film like this, unless it was a very well-known Hollywood, you know, flick. But yeah, but for like a B movie or a low-budget, more of a low-budget film from the 40s, this is fantastic. The Red House, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic film, so give it a shot, guys. Yeah! Alright, so that is going to do it for episode 54 here on my Random Horror Review series, which actually is not really a horror film this time around, but it's got some elements. Enough said. I'm out of here, and as usual, peace!